So welcome everybody. Thanks a lot for attending Swaarm's Masterclass webinar today with the topic of how a data-driven approach increases ROAS and conversions. Today is quite an exciting day because this is the first Masterclass that we are doing today. The first of its kind, as to say so, because we are planning to do these Masterclass webinars on a regular basis. I'm very pleased that today we have a very special guest whom I'm about to talk to, which is Oleksandra Gipsh. Ola, I hope you allow me to share some more words before I let you introduce yourself to the ones who might not know you. So my name is David. I'm the CEO of Swaarm. And for the ones who might not be that familiar with our brand, we are a Berlin-based tracking platform provider in the space of partner marketing. So we are working with networks, with agencies, and also direct advertisers. And we are still a fairly young company. We launched our product end of last year in October. And the second reason why it's an exciting day is today we also closed our second funding round, which is nice. So we have a lot of customers who already trust in us, like Apptrust. And Ola, thanks a lot that you are my first guest in this first masterclass today. And please introduce yourself.
Thank you. And thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here. And congratulations on your funding round. So I'm Oleksandra. I'm a co-founder and CEO of Apptrust. And Apptrust is a marketing agency focused on user acquisition for mobile app developers. And since last year, we also offer user acquisition services for clients that are not only having apps, but also that work on web and desktop. So basically, we offer full stack for user acquisition services.
Great. Thanks a lot, Ola. Today, we have a quite full agenda for the 30 minutes that we're having for the webinar. In the first part of our masterclass, we will talk a bit about the current situation and would like to know what you currently see in the market, what your experiences are for the first half year that we have seen in 2021. And in the second part of the webinar, we will deep dive a bit more on the specific topic that we have, which is about data analytics and also automation. Just some or maybe two admin information. The webinar is being recorded, so you can also rewatch it. You will get a mail with the recording afterwards. And what I would also like to share is you have the opportunity to ask questions to us. Please just use the chat function in Zoom and we'll make sure that your questions are going to be asked. So first of all, Ola, how was 2021 for Apptrust so far?
Yeah, so for sure, I would say that this year has been challenging for the whole industry. I'm mostly referring to iOS 14 updates and SCAD network. This topic is still pretty fresh for everyone. I think like the whole industry is still adjusting on how to work and how to move forward and how to keep generating revenues. But like the good thing is that we are all in the same boat. So we are all moving towards finding the best solution possible for our clients.
Yeah, so you already spoke a bit about iOS 14 as being one of the challenges. I don't want to go too much into detail because I think we could fill a whole masterclass only with iOS 14. Yeah. But how was it? There was a lot of insecurity about it. But how did you see it coming, or how's the current take on it?
Yeah, I think like we were much more, and it was super unclear for everyone. Also because we didn't get much information shared from Apple side on how everything will work. But also, guys, thanks to you and thanks to other providers, we tried to be as prepared as possible from technical side. I think it also was like a very crucial point to be aligned with all clients because they also didn't know what exactly they're expecting. But I think in the end, right now, everything is working pretty fine, probably even like better than we expected in the beginning of the year.
So is the saying still true that partner marketing, even though there is a lot of change and everyone is always afraid of all the changes, it still adapts all the time?
Yes, like I've been in the industry for almost 6 years. There have been other challenging that we were seeing, but in the end, we all are in one boat and we all overcame all these challenges so far.
That's good. That's good to see. And we're of course also trying to support you as best as possible to navigate through these times. When you think of what are the success factors that come into your mind when you think of 2021, and what might have changed also over the last couple of months?
Yeah, I think like if you look a little bit back to the previous years, our industry was bigger in terms of the players. And I think right now it's more challenging to keep the same pace for the companies. So for us, it's really important to focus on bringing value for the client. So our goal is to make their life easier. We want to save their time. We want to do the campaign budgeting, campaign optimization in-house. We want to prevent fraud in-house. So we try to automate things and we try to take things to do in-house instead of relying for the client. So we want to save their time as we of course value their time. Yeah.
Makes perfect sense. What are your expectations for the second half of 2021?
So I think like iOS 14 will be still a very big topic till end of the year. But for sure by end of the year, we will clearly know how to deal with it. And yeah, I think overall we're very optimistic, and so far this year also has been pretty good for us.
Sounds great. So Ola, you already mentioned a bit about that data analytics and also automation play a bigger role these days for you. Can you explain a bit? Maybe we can start with data analytics. What does it mean for you and your team these days?
Yes, so in all decisions that we try to take a data-driven approach. So it's like very important for us to have the quick access to data, to have good visibility. So all the decisions that we are taking should be based on data that we are seeing. And that's also where the automation comes, because we think like let machines do the work. When it comes to what we can automate, we should automate.
Mm-hmm. And can you describe maybe a bit how you are using data analytics today compared to maybe the last couple of years that you have been in the industry? What changed?
Absolutely. So the trend we are seeing every year that KPIs are more and more important as compared to like 3-4 years ago. So client doesn't want just to get installs. They want to see actually engaged users. They want users to stay with the client. So, and that brings us to the same level with the client. So we are also interested in the same. So we're not interested to just bring the users. We're interested to get like the most engaged ones. And that's where the data analytics also comes from. So it's important for us to track other data points. And it's important to track what happens with the user after install, so we can also make better decisions on traffic sources.
Makes sense. And you already mentioned, Ola, that data analytics and automation go very much hand in hand. What does it mean, or how do you apply this on a daily basis?
Yes, so basically we do have a lot of automation rules on the platform that run in the real time, as compared to how we did it before. We had to do a lot of things manually. We had to analyze more like through downloading the data and analyzing afterwards. But also, especially now, it's important that these decisions are taken kind of on spot and rather preventing that than checking afterwards.
So it helps you to be more proactive, because, as you said, the machine is also doing a lot of the work and more instantly.
Yeah, exactly. So it's important to be on top of your game.
Yeah. No, this makes sense. And when you think of you and your team, like how much of your daily task have you automated already?
So we automated already several AdOps tasks. So for example, when it comes to CR, which is of course a big topic last 2 years, same goes for CTIT. It's important for us to keep checking that. And of course, it's important to keep checking that in real time. For us, we also have a lot of clients in Asia and in US. So that's where like our team is not physically present in the office. We also automated some processes regarding KPIs. So we can also do that in real time instead of analyzing the data afterwards. And yeah, most of the things that we could automate, we try to automate right now.
Got it. So does it also help you, or the way I understand it, it also helps you to expand a bit the global footprint that you're having, because you can serve customers around the world without having people and your team around the world?
Absolutely. So we can leave the office knowing that nothing will happen and everything will keep running smooth. And of course, it also gives confidence to our clients to trust us.
Makes sense. Yeah, interesting. Ola, we talked before we were having the webinar. We talked about that it might be useful if we show a bit how the automation rules, for example, work. Would it be okay if we jump in the platform?
Yeah, absolutely.
Then I will stop sharing my screen.
Okay, then I'm starting to share my screen. Okay, so I would like to show a few things. So since I already spoke about automation, I think it's also great that I show some of the examples. So on like Swaarm allows us to automate different things. So for us, like few of the important ones, one is CR optimization, which, as I said before, like is a really big topic right now for a lot of customers. So Swaarm allows us to set our own rules that will meet our client requirements regarding CR. So we can optimize exactly what they want, including in what time frame and on what level. So here you can see we set the rule on sub-publisher level based on clicks, conversions, and time frame. And if this requirement is not met, the system will automatically block the sub ID, so we can be sure that client will only get the traffic that they want. And another rule I also wanted to show is the KPI rule, which is also very important. And as I said earlier, like clients are really looking for quality and they're looking for engaged users. So here we see an example of optimization towards 30% registration rate on the offer. And then we can set for what kind of event, what kind of percentage we need. And again, we can set the time frame as well. And we can also set the action that we want if the requirement is not met. And I also wanted to show one.
May I ask you a question on this first one? Is this something when you exchange with your clients? Is it something that is part of the conversation that they also ask about the traffic and how you make sure that you are only forwarding the right traffic?
Yeah, absolutely. That's for sure something we're always discussing with our clients, and it's important for them also to know that it's not only human factor and human eyes that are checking this, but there is also a machine that works without weekends and that their campaigns are always safe.
Yeah, great. Sorry for interrupting.
No, all good. I also wanted to show, since we spoke a lot about data-driven approach, and I also want to emphasize one more time that it's very important for us to have good visibility of the data to take the right decisions. So that's where Explorer also comes. Here, this is the tool that actually helps us and saves us a lot of time. Since we switched to Swaarm, we also are not using Excel as much, since we don't need to download the data. We can just directly see and analyze it here. So I just want to show a very quick example in case I want to look for what publishers are sending, and I can go even on a more granular level. Everything loads pretty fast. We see the visual representation, so we can definitely make faster decisions. And here, like the tool, we can go on super detailed level, and it will still like load fast, and it will show us the data right away.
Got it. So how often are you using this in your daily life?
All the time, I would say.
And in the past, you would download a CSV file instead?
Yes, usually we would always use Excel or create Excel templates to have also like faster representation of data, but this definitely saves time.
Makes sense. And because the title, Ola, is also how to increase ROAS based on data analytics. Is this something that you can or access data quicker? Did it help you to increase ROAS and conversions in the end, or is it just more nice to have that you have a better visibility?
Yeah, I would say it also helps to increase, because then when you see better your data on the level that you need, like you don't really have limitations with Explorer. So you can push the right sources, you can make better decisions, you can see what works for your client faster. So in the end, it for sure increases the ROAS of your campaigns, and it also increases like the amounts of budgets you can get, because if you achieve KPIs, the client is happy and the client wants to grow with you.
Yeah.
Okay,
no, great.
I think I will stop sharing my screen now.
Yeah, thanks a lot
Sure.
that you were showing what you were doing in the platform. Happy to take over again the screen. Yes, I think this was super interesting. What you already shared about data analytics and automation. Maybe we go one step further and talk a bit about how to scale your business based with a data-driven approach. Can you maybe also, at the example of Apptrust, tell a bit like how does it help you to scale your business? Because I know you are also in parallel growing the team. How does it go hand in hand?
Yeah, I think like once we manage to automate, like as I mentioned before, like some AdOps tasks, so we also don't need to spend time of our managers doing this. It goes same for KPIs. Usually we would just send around Excel reports, and then we would send it to the client and wait for client to check it. Right now, we ask the client to just hand over this task to us, because we are sure that we can do it on time and it's going to be done fast, and most of the things will be done by the platform. So we leave our account managers to do the talking and communication with the client, and we leave the human mistakes out of the picture.
Understood. And may I ask, like how much or how many tech people do you still have, or is it mainly the AdOps people who take care that everything is running as it should be?
Well, actually, I would say like Swaarm is so easy to use that right now all our account managers are setting the rules for their campaigns. So as compared to before, we actually don't need to wait for AdOps manager to implement some kind of more complicated rules to the platform, and everyone has access to do it, and it takes just few clicks to implement it.
Makes sense. And maybe if you think of, because you were saying that your account managers are directly working with the rules, but at the same time, some of their daily tasks are being taken over based on automation. Like what is it? Did the focus of their work shift a bit since you have the automation rules and since they don't have to, for example, push offers to publishers?
Yeah, I think it gave them more time to get better connections with their clients, but also it gave them more time to find more clients, which of course is beneficial for the company. And I would say like it's very important for us to keep like our account managers focused on the right things. And all these kind of reports I find very important, but if we can skip the step of actually doing them, this gives us a lot of free time.
Yeah, no, makes sense. And also nice to see that they can spend the time on in the end, also growing your business, right? This is the way I understand it.
Exactly.
No, This is great. And when you think of it, or if you do you have a vision, for example, that says in the end I want to have 80% of my daily task being automated, and the plan to go there, or how are you doing this?
Yeah, like as I said earlier, for us, we are pro automation and we want to automate as many things as possible. Of course, we won't be ever able to automate communication with the clients, but that's also where account managers come in and sales managers come in. So that's what they should focus on, and the rest should be done as it is right now. So if we can automate optimizations, it's not very also interesting task for account managers just to keep doing the same reports every day. So it also, I think, increases their interest in their daily work as well.
Cool. No, that's good to hear. Ola, because you are, of course, an expert in the industry, since you haven't been in the industry for many years now leading a big network. From what I'm seeing is that there is a lot of new companies in the market, or people that used to work for networks now start their own activities. What would be your recommendations, also based on what you're seeing in 2021, when you start your new business?
Yeah, I would say like our industry is very fast pacing. So I would say my first tip would be like it's important to stay flexible and adapt to the new regulations or new requirements from the clients, because like as I see every 2-3 years something changes, and there are like big changes coming every 2-3 years in the industry, and the industry itself is pretty young, so there's still much more changes coming in the future. So it's important to be fast changing along with the industry. And yeah, like since we already have this smart machine learning algorithms, I think this is also where we should focus and use them, and we should automate what we can automate and let people do like human aspect of the job.
Yeah, and maybe things. What would you say? Now we have a lot of do's, and what are maybe the don'ts? So what are the things that if you would start over again, what would you avoid maybe, or would recommend people to avoid?
Well, I would say like don't go for the cheapest solutions on the market, because then what is important for you, especially when you just start a network or an agency, like tracking is crucial. Like you need to have all your events tracked and saved, so you can always access your data, and you can also access your data afterwards. So don't go with the pricing, even though in the beginning it sounds important, but what you save in the end is more important, because you also established your connections with your clients, and that's something that is very important for a new company.
Makes sense. I have 2 questions actually from the audience, and if you guys, if you have more questions, just use the chat. But I will take the first one, and the first one is, what are the most important metrics to judge your traffic that you look at?
Yeah, so like right now we track a lot of events. So we start with impressions, which also was something new 2 years ago. Then we, of course, we track clicks, we track installs, and then we also want to track whatever comes after installs and what is important for the client. And how we judge the traffic, like we try to also have the rules on the very early stage. We want to see like the ratio between impressions and clicks. Then we want to see the ratio between installs and post-install events. We, of course, want to take into the consideration CR and CTIT. So all these metrics combined, they show us like the quality of the traffic, and we can already decide on very early stage if it's a good quality or not.
And if you then see, for example, that traffic sources do not match the criteria that you apply, what would you do next?
Yeah, for sure, we would right away stop this kind of sources, because in the end, what's important for us that the client is happy with the traffic.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I have another question that just came in. Would you rather choose running a high volume of campaigns with less control or the opposite?
Okay, yeah, I think like the control is very important right now. So I think it's better to go safe, especially like if you want to focus on good connection with your clients, and if you focus on long-term partnerships, you should definitely go with the quality.
Yeah, and there was a second question, which is part of this. How important are the automation rules in this decision?
Yeah, I think like that's also like the whole topic of our webinar today, and I think it's crucial. And again, if we talk about long-term partnerships, if you can automate and spend your time wisely connecting with your clients, so you can do cross-sale, you can do upsale, in the end, it's beneficial for you.
Yeah. Thanks, Ola, for answering. Maybe one last question from the audience, because we are about time. What are the top KPIs in your as a role as a COO that you are looking at the daily basis?
Do you mean like account managers KPIs or campaigns?
Campaign. I think it's campaign KPIs. It's not specified.
Okay. Yeah, for campaigns, I think like because all apps right now require registration, so that's like one of the main KPIs that we use for all campaigns. And then, of course, it depends on the client, but most of the clients, of course, they're looking for some kind of return of investment on the marketing. So in the end, most of the clients will be looking for paying users, for users that are beneficial for their own KPIs. And yeah, I think that's where we would be heading.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Well, I'm so sorry. We are sorry. It's now I was a bit too fast. We are almost through. First of all, thanks a lot for taking the time, for being here, answering all the questions. If there are any more questions from the audience, or if you would like to reach out to us, please feel free to shoot us a message. We have the contact details here. We are happy to provide all the information that you would like to have. Other than that, thanks a lot for being part of Swaarm's first masterclass. As I said, you will get the recording by mail after this session. It was great having you. We will inform you once we have scheduled the next, which we are already planning with another expert. But Ola, thanks again for being the first expert that we had here. Thank you so
very
much.
much for inviting me.
You're welcome. Great, guys. And having said this, this is the end of today's masterclass, and I wish you a good afternoon.